You announced on Friday the U.S. is implementing sanctions that would cut off Iran's central bank and National Development Fund from the U.S. banking system. You said that with those sanctions, the administration has, quote, cut off all sources of funds to Iran. Does this mean at this point that the Trump administration has exhausted its ability to sanction Iran, or are there still other avenues?
I think there's some other avenues. I think we've now cut off all the money. The thing we'll be focusing on now is people that are violating the Iran sanctions and issuing sanctions on third parties where we see violations.
Including people in allied countries, including people in the UK or Germany or France.
If they violate it, absolutely. We expect that anybody who's attached to the U.S. dollar system will abide by these sanctions.
Well, let me ask you, because you've been doing this maximum pressure campaign against Iran for more than a year. But it seems like tensions are worse than they've been in a long time. Are you confident that it's working?
Well, I think the tensions are, as you said, worse because it is working. I think what you see is we've cut off almost all the money to Iran. I think you see Iran acting in desperation, attacking its neighbors. This is really unprecedented in that sense. And yes, we continue to have conversations with all of our allies about these issues. And we'll be having conversations at the UN this week. This will be a major topic for the president.
President Trump has said he's willing to meet with the Iranian President Rouhani. Does that still hold true now, even given the latest Iranian provocations?
Well, I think the president has always said he'd leave the door open, but I think it's highly unlikely given the current circumstances.
Police in Washington State say a student called 911 to report his bus driver for drunk driving.
Police arrested the driver on September 12th after she'd completed 2 trips carrying students. Now, no students were on board the bus at the time she was arrested, but listen here to part of the 911 call.
We just got off the bus, me and my friend, and on bus 8, our bus driver, Catherine, she was drunk because she was, she passed 3 red lights, and she, got on the side road by the 76. And there's still kids on there. And I was telling my friend to get off with me and his sister, but the bus driver wouldn't let him.
Did she smell of alcohol?
Yeah, her breath sort of smells like alcohol.
And you said she ran how many red lights?
About 3 red lights.
The bus driver is on administrative leave while the school district investigates, obviously.
About 2 o'clock, there was a call here for a man unresponsive. Paramedics responded, and he basically passed away. Short time after, there was another incident at 26th and Carson with another individual that was transported to Mercy. Also, he was somewhat conscious, however, appearing to have the same symptoms as the first patient. We have a total of 7 victims here, 3 of which are deceased and 4 of which are currently at Mercy Hospital. Their conditions are ranging from critical to serious at this time. The common factor between all these patients is that they were wearing orange wristbands. We are appreciative to the public's help so far in trying to identify where these orange wristbands have come from. Currently, we know of 2 venue sites in separate locations throughout the city that were utilizing orange wristbands, and it is providing us some guidance and investigative avenues to look at.
Paramedics in Pittsburgh called out to an apartment complex early this morning at about 2 a.m. to reports of an unconscious man. Then another call came in of another individual in a similar situation. Then they were able to trace those 2 individuals to an apartment complex in Pittsburgh's South Side, where additional patients were located. In the end, 3 of those were pronounced dead. 4 of them continue to be hospitalized right now. Not a lot that we know about just who they are, only that they share something in common, that they were all wearing orange wristbands, something similar you would wear if you were to gain entrance into a concert venue, for example. That initially prompted some concerns that this could have been some sort of health emergency that started at a concert venue. However, authorities said that they're not exactly quite sure. There were also initial concerns that this could have potentially been some kind of tainted drug that was being passed around, but the authorities quick to point out that they don't believe that that was actually the case, that they do believe that this was an isolated incident. As for representatives of that apartment complex, they say that these patients, these 7 individuals, they did not actually live there, but at least one of those patients was an acquaintance of one of the residents that is currently in good standing. So there's certainly a lot of questions here that are still being asked, but we do know for sure here, Martin, is that authorities are very confident in saying that this was not some sort of a wider health emergency, instead a drug overdose, but they are certainly using this as an opportunity, Martin, to point out just the dangers of using narcotics.